Good morning, powerful people. Craig versus Copa. It's heating up. Crazy development. I'll let you decide whether Craig is Satoshi or not. Fidelity, they have a 1% Bitcoin allocation. Bitcoin is up. It is absolutely pumping. MicroStrategy accumulated another 850 more Bitcoin. Crazy news. MicroStrategy, they're turning into a Bitcoin development company. We also have these two speeches that I'd like you to see. One's from Janet Yellen, and the other one's from Neil Kashkari. Neil Kashkari is the president of the Fed in Missouri, or we'll dive into it, I'll get that correct. And he's telling people not to buy Bitcoin for hard money. Absolutely crazy. Shout out to everyone in the chat. If you can do us a favor, smash like. Let's jump straight into Fidelity. So this is Matt Hogan, the CIO of Bitwise there. Fidelity has a 1 to 3% of Bitcoin allocation. They're all-in-one asset allocation funds in Canada using spot Bitcoin ETFs. The conservative version is posted below. When and if this becomes the norm for portfolios in the US? Well, Fidelity, all-in-one conservative ETF allocation to underlying funds, 1% to cryptocurrencies there. Absolutely amazing. Slowly, then suddenly, this is just the start. What are we, week 3 here? Diving into MicroStrategy real quick, we'll cap it, and then we'll just cover it real quick, and then we'll dive into it a bit deeper. Need to see these videos coming up. We are positioning as a Bitcoin development company. We are excited about the opportunities this will bring to software development. We'll dive into this chart a little bit later. Now, it is really heating up with Craig versus Copa. Got a whole lot of quotes coming out of it. CSW, Craig, Copa. Another brilliant one from The Guardian, and this is going all over the newspapers, absolutely everywhere. I didn't forge. Copa, your own expert said you did. Craig, they're rubbish. And this is Peter here. Judges are going to judge. Clowns are going to clown. Diving into the numbers here. Let's have a look at that big green button. We haven't seen the big green button for a while. Look at it. 43,471 and 16 cents there. Up, down, or sideways. Obviously not financial advice. Maybe you want to get some of those beautiful sats. We'll dive into the block clock. 69 of the day, 43,469. Number of the universe, 5:38 a.m. Block height, 829,409 sats per USD. Exactly 2,300. So if you think about it, for every $10, you get 23,000 Satoshis. How awesome is that? Very exciting. Before we dive into it, just want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, the Bitcoin Way. If you've still got your Bitcoin on exchange, or you just need to take your Bitcoin security to the next level, you can reach out to the Bitcoin Way. Safety, a Moose, author of the Bitcoin Standard. Hopefully you've all read that book. Also recommends this professional Bitcoin IT team. I've been using the team as well. They've helped me out a lot. They offer live help the whole time. They never touch your keys or your coins. They can sort you out with cold storage, run your own node, keeping your Bitcoin private, planning for the future, using multi-sig and so much more. They will show you and help you save that generational wealth. Free 30-minute call off. Put them at the top of the description there. So jump over and check out the Bitcoin Way at thebitcoinway.com today. Let's jump in to what is going on here with MicroStrategy. Absolutely amazing. And we'll dive into more of the Craig. I've got my own opinion. I'd love to hear yours as we dive into what is happening. So this is Anthony Scaramucci, just summing up MicroStrategy's press release. Michael Saylor is the boss. 31,755 Bitcoins acquired since the end of Q3 for 1.25 billion. Since the end of Q3 last year, absolutely insane. That's an average price of 39,411, 190,000 Bitcoin holdings so far. It looks like they are going for 210,000, 1% of the total supply of Bitcoin. Overall, they've spent 5.93 billion or 31,224 per Bitcoin. Total revenue, 124.5 million. It's down 6% year over year. Subscription service revenues, 21.5 million, which is up 23% year over year. Now, who have we got here? The Guardian is jumping on. This is going absolutely everywhere. mainstream news is being pretty blunt. Craig Wright denies forging documents to support Bitcoin claim. We'll just read this. It is a longer article. I have reposted at Sean Clark 911 if you want to check out the rest of it. And his first day given evidence at the High Court in London on Tuesday, Wright denied any forgery or falsification and attacked the qualifications of his own expert witness who found otherwise. So the hearing was part of a lawsuit brought by Copa, a coalition of cryptocurrency-linked tech firms, which is seeking to invalidate his long-held assertion that he is the real Nakamoto. What are your thoughts? Do you know who Craig Wright is, number one? And if you do, Satoshi or fake Toshi or just deluded? Let us know what you think in the comment section there. And if you can, smash the like button, get this video out. Truly appreciate it. Copa is asking the High Court for a negative declaration that Wright is not Nakamoto, and says such a ruling would stop him challenging people seeking to develop Bitcoin-related projects. Sounds like a thorn lately. Some of the excerpts out of there. Copa, tell us who told you the email was fake. Craig, I can't judge. You can and you will. Craig, Johnny, something. I'll come back to you. Crickets. Later when the Copa team grill him about Johnny to prove he's a serial liar. Here's Johnny. Now, Peter. Well, this would have been useful information, my lawsuit. I guess my lawyers will be writing to you shortly. Right. So, W, Wright, C, Copa. I told my lawyers I don't know what happened. Did you tell Ontario these documents were false? Right, yes, Copa. And Ontario sat on this information allowing the parties to be misled. Right, I have no idea what Ontario did. Peter McCormack again saying thanks to Norbert. Norbert is a play-by-play of the Copa. I've just brought out a couple of funny ones here. TLDR Rexman from Rexford and Rexford Shire. So today is for oral openings, which I'm told is not a dental procedure. I just brought up this one to repost. There's some really good comments on there at the end of it. Your position in Kleiman is that you didn't have access at all. Not only certain parts, right? I no longer had access to the Satoshi emails and was being ridiculously difficult. I'm not doing that in this trial, Your Honor. My lord, Copa. So you didn't tell the whole truth, right? I wasn't asked that question. Is this Satoshi or not? I'd love, we've got about two more and then we'll dive into the news. I didn't forge. Copa, your own expert said you did. Craig, they are rubbish. And this is where this article has come from that we just brought up. So we'll play this video. Shout out to everyone there in the live chat. Join us today. If you can, again, do us one favor, smash the like button. If you haven't already, Bitcoin evangelism. So I've been going through it and this is great. And this is pretty pertinent right now because people are accumulating so much Bitcoin. So it's one paragraph. Not every millionaire in the world can have a full Bitcoin. There are an estimated 45 million millionaires in the world and only 19 million Bitcoin currently. Max, obviously, of 21 million. This means that many millionaires will even need to start thinking of terms rather than Satoshis over whole Bitcoin. No commodity in history had this type of scarcity. So you're stacking and you're chilling. Are you pushing that red button, the green button when we get them? It's TikTok next block, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know how long you've been in Bitcoin, either less than a year or greater than a year, while we're playing this video of Janet Yellen. Let's go.
Council is focused on digital assets and related risks, such as from runs on crypto asset platforms and stablecoins, potential vulnerabilities from crypto asset price volatility, and the proliferation of platforms acting outside of or out of compliance with applicable laws and regulations. Applicable rules and regulations should be enforced, and Congress should pass legislation to provide for the regulation of stablecoins and of the spot market for crypto assets that are not securities. We look
just on that one, just so we can hold that thought in our mind, in regulating crypto assets that are not securities.
Forward to continuing to engage with Congress on this. With this overview, I look forward to taking your questions on these, and the council.
We've got another video to back up what I'm about to say, but they are truly getting scared. One of the biggest takeaways about that is they're afraid of quote unquote bank runs because it's digital, it's faster. Say it was backed one-to-one and the reserves were actually real, but people wanted to withdraw as quick as possible. They'd be able to do that more than likely on these stable coins over their own Federal Reserve, the banking system, the Ponzi system that's going on. And I'm not advocating for stable coins in the slightest, but they're probably more secure than your bank, to be honest. What's even more secure than that? Obviously, Bitcoin. We are still in the then they fight you stage, and it's all good. We are winning. They are scared. What this Fed president had to say is absolutely crazy. Just want to read some of these comments here in regards to Craig Wright. What your thoughts are. Simon, just tell him to move one Bitcoin from Satoshi wallet to prove it to him. If not, shut it down and stop wasting everyone's time. PC Cushion CR is mad. CW is mad. Everyone believes that Craig Wright is mad as an absolute clown. I hope he gets to see a jail cell soon. Just waiting for everyone else's, just wasting everyone's time. If common sense was allowed in courts and politics, we would save money and energy. Let's go. Yellen is a troll. People been here over 2 years, 5 years. Let's go. It's amazing, hey? Read the books and it always stays fascinating. So just an excerpt out of her speech. Speaking in Congress today, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has called for crypto legislation. Specifically, Yellen asked for congressional action to protect citizens, save the kids, from risks associated with digital assets. Like talking to lawmakers, Yellen expressed a desire for Fed oversight over stablecoin issuers. And it's going to continue to happen. It is what it is, and they will take out many of the stablecoins. This is MicroStrategy's Bitcoin development company plan, basically, and this is them comparing themselves to the spot Bitcoin ETFs, ETPs. So the company structure, operating company, active control over the capital structure, no management fee. The ETFs, trust company, limited control over the capital structure, non-zero management fee. Now here is where they're really pushing their new narrative. MicroStrategy, ability to develop software, ability to innovate, to create incremental value, ability to generate cash from operations, reinvest cash from software business, 726 million to date, 40 million per year in 22-23, ability to leverage capital markets, debt, secured or unsecured, convertible or structured notes, equity, preferred equity, 2.2 billion debt, and a 3.1 billion equity capital invested. They are pushing this Bitcoin development company narrative. Just a thought, this was 2 days ago, I believe. Commercial real estate a concern, but manageable, Yellen says. We may bring that video up just really quickly. I will be traveling to New Zealand tomorrow, and I'll be back in Australia Tuesday night. So Wednesday next week, you'll see me again. I appreciate it. Hit subscribe, hit the bell button, and I will go live then. Going there for a funeral, so probably won't be streaming the news. Heads up. If I get a little bit of time, I will, but I'll be with friends and family, just letting you all know. And this was just in 2017. Bernanke believes housing a mess contains. Obviously, then we had the GFC. So what's this timing say? Commercial real estate a concern, but manageable. We'll see they've been pretty good with holding their narrative alive for at least the mainstream, for the normies out there. Now, this is the president of the Fed, Minneapolis, Neil Kashkari, explains why he's skeptical. It's 2 minutes. It's well worth your time here. Let's go. Oh, sorry. Might need a little bit of sound on this one. Give me a moment. Let's hit it.
Skeptic about cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Can you explain your concern?
Yeah, so I travel around and I do talks like this. I do a lot in universities. And inevitably in the university context, there are a number of students who want to ask me about Bitcoin. And I always ask them, has anybody in this room ever bought something with Bitcoin? Not bought Bitcoin, bought something using Bitcoin as a currency. I mean, a sandwich, a computer, a book, anything? Anybody ever bought anything using Bitcoin as a currency? No. I've never met somebody who's bought something using Bitcoin as a currency. So I always ask, what problem is this trying to solve? Well, first I heard, well, it's an inflation hedge. Well, then when we had this big inflation spike, I said, darn it, we're going to make these Bitcoin guys feel like they were right. But then it turned out Bitcoin was a terrible inflation hedge. When we raised interest rates, Bitcoin got crushed. It's just another risky asset. So if you want to spend your money buying Beanie Babies or Pez dispensers or Bitcoin, knock yourself out, okay? But it's now been 10 plus years and nobody has been able to articulate any actual utility in the real world other than an article of speculation. I'm not opposed to Beanie Babies. I'm not opposed to Pez dispensers. I am opposed to Americans taking their hard-earned money and being duped into investing in something and not realizing they're buying a Beanie Baby, thinking they're buying something else. I'll give you one little example. I've used this before. I said my wife is from the Philippines. One time we went to visit her family in the Philippines. We landed at customs at LAX. I was going through customs. I was tired. The customs officer said, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "I work at the Federal Reserve." And he said, "Oh, do you know about Bitcoin?" And I said, "I know something." And he said, "My good buddy just took out a home equity loan to buy Bitcoin. Should I do that?" And I said, "You know, I'm not supposed to give investment advice, but do not do that unless you want to risk losing your home." So that's why I'm concerned about it.
It's funny the way they stage their propaganda, isn't it? So it'd be very interesting to know the time frame when that guy at customs wanted to leverage his house. What was the price of Bitcoin? $100, $500, $1,000? We don't know. They selectively choose what they're saying in their narrative. It's half-truths. And I would happen to agree. Don't go out and leverage things. Your house, you need to be able to feed your family, put clothes on your back, your car. Just your normal life, you still need that to keep going while you're stacking Bitcoin. And then do everything else you can to be able to stack as much sats. Isn't it amazing? So I have used Bitcoin. I spend Bitcoin more often than I like, because once I buy Bitcoin, I like it just to go into cold storage. And once it's in cold storage, it never sees the light of day. But I will transfer dirty fiat into Bitcoin to be able to buy things. It is what it is. So that's a whole lot of nonsense. The thing that was the real propaganda was when he was talking about the Beanie Babies and the Pez dispensers, if you remember those, liking Bitcoin too, that throwing it in the same category as that. And basically, obviously, Bitcoin is not the altcoins, all the NFTs, the garbage that comes along with that. And they are trying to, with very high net worth individuals, these people have got money or power to be sitting in the room with them, more than likely, yeah? So they're all high net worth individuals, and he's talking them out and relating it to all the garbage out there, the mind virus, and I think it's insidious. I'll repost this, but this is on MicroStrategy's website. This is from yesterday. It just goes through and gives the updates on everything that happened yesterday in their corporate earnings meeting. So if you want to see that, you can see their financial results. It's pretty much the way they're going to set it up. Bitcoin development company, Bitcoin and software development, Bitcoin holdings, excess cash, cash equity and debt, increased Bitcoin holdings and shareholder value. Includes Bitcoin acquisition, Bitcoin advocacy initiatives and software development related to BI, AI, cloud, Bitcoin and Lightning. Bitcoin development company. They're going all in. Hey, that's the conviction. Michael Saylor, the GOAT, has dove so hard into Bitcoin. He's taken that orange pill, and this guy stacks and chills. He's remember, he's also selling MicroStrategy stock all the way up until April or May, I believe, and he's turned it into Bitcoin, and that's what he's stated. So pretty interesting times, hey? And MicroStrategy as a company, a corporation, are going for that 1%. So it's TikTok next block, ladies and gentlemen. British Huddle, I really like this sentiment. I got some great sentiment just before we dive into the comments there at the end. We've still got a few more things to go through. British Huddle, good morning. Everyone says 12 months after the halving, the shock starts for Bitcoin price. However, we never had a scenario where 2,000 Bitcoin a day are being acquired by a single demand source. I think there is a high likelihood that the ETFs change the cycle you're expecting. Be aware of that. Slowly, then suddenly. This is something to feel real good about. Dennis Porter, we are going to have him on the show. He had to go off for this testimony that he had to give in Missouri, the state capital there. Unfortunately, so much stuff's come up. This guy is so busy, but he's fighting the good fight, and he's just such a good person. Giving credit to someone that made his day. So listen to this. This is the type of guy that we have fighting for your right to mine, to be able to hold Bitcoin, especially over in the States. Someone I really admire. Something really inspiring happened today. A Bitcoiner traveled to Jefferson City to listen into and support the testimony that was delivered for the Bitcoin hearing at the Missouri State Capitol. I didn't ask him to be there. He just showed up, quietly sat, listened, and privately voiced his support once the hearing was completed. You might not think it, but it's little surprise support like this that light me up and give me the courage to continue pushing for Bitcoin. This Bitcoiner took time out of his day to come down to the Capitol just to be there and show support. He didn't get speaking time. He didn't get camera time. He didn't ask for either. That type of support from the Bitcoin community really motivates me to keep fighting to advance our cause. Thank you to my new Bitcoin friend. Your active support meant a lot to me. Bitcoiners being Bitcoiners, that is why Bitcoin's going to win. We've all chosen to be here, to be able to stack, to be able to opt out of being a slave, basically. We're choosing to read the books, and we're not going to eat the bugs of Klaus Schwab. And it's super easy. All we need to do is stack and chill, but you can't change Bitcoin. For some reason, maybe because Bitcoin is so perfect, it's aligned with math. And math is the language of the universe. Most people begin to become a better person every area of their life. And maybe that's the distortion of the fiat system there. They want to keep you a slave by giving you a fake slave money. And when you opt out and you've got the world's hardest money and it's truth and it's holding your storing power, it changes you as a person. Now, the Bitcoin therapist, if you need a little bit of therapy today, just quickly in regards to the therapy, it is a nice green day. Just please don't tie your emotions to whether it's green or red, $10,000, $20,000 days. But coming up, if you need a little bit of therapy, the Bitcoin therapist has you. I expect face ripping gains this year. I expect face melting gains next year. I expect number go up forever. I expect unrealistic returns. There is no logic to my bullishness. This thing is going up forever. I'm a Bitcoin perma bull. The reason I bring that up, short term, up, down, and sideways, who cares? That's my sentiment, as well as the Bitcoin therapist there today. Let's jump in to see what Bitcoin market cap is doing. It's $855 billion, $860,322,377. We'll dive into the price. One day we're going to wake up, it's going to be over a trill, baby, and everyone's going to be like, it's doing nothing. They're just poking it with their stickers like bang, and that's probably why the roof here got smashed. Green candles. At the price here in Australia, it's like 67, 68,000 anyway. So we can see any day now, 69,000, we're just going to wake up. And we're only a day ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Let's refresh this and see if we can get the current price of 43,599.50 cents. Oh, up and to the right, isn't it? Looking good. Let's just zoom out a little bit. We're up a little bit on the week, pretty much sideways there. On the month, we're down a little bit, but it's just TikTok next block. And yes, I could have just stayed on the green chart and everyone would feel happy. But this is what gets me excited, because you can see where it's heading, where Bitcoin is inevitably, in my opinion, going to go here, and it's just going to keep going higher and higher. Look, when we zoom out further, it is green. Wow, over a year. That's the power of Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. You hold it, you stack, you chill. And as British Hodl says, you get fabulously wealthy. That's the news with the fast facts. If you haven't already, hit subscribe if we vibe. Sorry I won't be here from Friday, so tomorrow through to Wednesday. If I get an opportunity, may jump on for a little bit of a live stream, a banter. But I appreciate everyone's support. My granddad was the greatest man in my entire life, so we'll go there for friends and family. And I will be back. So hit that notification bell so you get notified. So shout out to everyone that is watching. Simon Picala, all the time, brother. I appreciate having you here. Baseline Benny, legend. Simon Picala, really loved that episode yesterday. Panties for Bitcoin. We had Flo on, who is the spokeswoman for Panties for Bitcoin. Whole lot of fun. I look forward to ordering some. They said they didn't make the shirts. I'm like, oh, please, can we somehow get me one of those shirts? And I'll rep it everywhere. Panties for Bitcoin across the chest. But that was a whole lot of fun. Gargoyle, g'day, a legend. Jerry Solar and Win Solution. Hello, everyone. Jerry, I saw that you explained a little bit more about your solar yesterday and yesterday's live. In a one-on-one conversation, it is a little bit hard to focus on the comments. So if you could repeat that, I think you explained what the solar was about. Johnny Midas. G'day, brother. Just tell him to move. This is in regards to Craig Wright. We won't jump into all of those again, but that's right, Simon. All he needs to do is sign a transaction. All this nonsense would be over. He's come out in the past saying he couldn't do that because it would destroy everything. My thoughts on Craig is justice will prevail. The truth always wins. And it's going to be, it's just nonsensical, isn't it? Like, to go in with it for so long and for the court just to be like forgery, that's absolutely all nonsense. How do they continue to entertain this? The narrative's gone on for way too long. Peter McCormack, Hodlnaut, what they've been through over the years, fighting for truth, for freedom. At least it's going to come to a close in the next 5.5 weeks. CR is mad. ETF is just starting. Imagine once other countries get ETS and countries start buying more. It's number go up technology. The game theory is beginning. And I know Bitcoin was at 48,000 in, say, the last month and a half. And it's down below that, so everyone's feeling bearish. The higher the number, the higher the number. So just make the most of it while it lasts. It's not going to last forever. Because it goes up forever, Laura. Now, exactly, Simon, Orange Pill Dispenser, shout out. They're doing well to keep the price suppressed. Price doesn't reflect the outflow, and once it does, it will 10x. Craig, absolute clown. Hopefully he goes to jail. Over 2 years, Gargoyle, let's go. Yellen is a troll. Yeah, the parasitic class, all of them, it's just that corruption because they're so close, I guess, to the fiat printer. Absolutely corrupt, disgusting, vile, despicable. The lies, the misinformation, the propaganda, it's insane. Been in crypto since 2013, found out there are only Bitcoins and ship coins in 2017. 5 years in crypto, daddy-o. Give it 10 to 20, 30 years. Now kids won't even know what a bank is because maybe, just maybe, they will be no more. Thanks very much for the well wishes, Simon. Paying out on the president, Kashkari there. Black Swan, Don, good to see you. Gargoyle, kiss a kiwi for me. Well, that's most likely not going to happen. Well, my family members, but I don't think in the way that you mean, Gargoyle. Lies, lies, lies. Propaganda is real. Yep, rule of law. Never invest in anything you're not willing to lose. G'day, Neil. Low risk tolerance is why I never tried, but stacked and hodled. It is much riskier to not buy Bitcoin. It's probably one of the how to say it nicely, the dumbest financial decisions you could ever make of your life, of having zero exposure. For people that don't, getting better and better and better at orange pill people, but people are not going to be orange pilled until they're ready to hear it. And it's sad. So everyone gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve, just like friends and family, to get it so much cheaper than what it's going to be. But if they could just allocate 1, 3, 5%, it'll pay dividends from now on into the future. My uncle, who has studied and owned a wealth management company for 35 years, told me that propaganda is real. Was that in regards to it or just stack and chill? He was also a huge believer in Bitcoin, introduced me to it. How awesome, Simon. Such good energy as always. Appreciate that. Awesome. Ultimate scarcity equals permaball. What's your thoughts on fiat? Fiat's obviously the ultimate ship coin, like a sailing ship coin. And it's dirty. Like, yes, as a means of exchange and to pay your bills and your tax and everything that goes along with it, Bitcoin's still got a little while to go with the payment rails. But once I buy Bitcoin, I don't really want to spend it. I will buy Bitcoin-only things with my Bitcoin, but preferably, I don't mind paying all my bills, everything that comes along with living life in the dirty old fiat. And then after that, you put it straight into Bitcoin. It makes no sense to hold on to something that, like I've always seen it as monopoly money, even since a young age, like candy wrappers. I think probably from like the age of 12, I've thought about money as just candy wrappers. It's all it is. It's insane. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. So nothing good in regards to fiat apart from like it's easy, you know. G'day all, average geo, late but present, shout out Knox Bill in the house. Plan B only gives price predictions up until 2032 because his chart model goes to silly price that people can't comprehend. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be an interesting cycle, this cycle, and over the next 2 cycles up to 2032. I think it's going to do better than probably all of us can imagine. That's my thoughts in regards to it. Most won't take the orange pill until FOMO overcomes them. Yeah, it's crazy. You should buy when others are scared and be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. That's a quote from Warren Buffett. And I think that's pretty sage, even though I called Bitcoin rat poison squared. Thanks very much, Warren. It's that's a good line. He did well, and he was a really good investor. He just chose not to invest in things he didn't understand. So probably read the books and avoid eating those bugs, as always. Mr. Android agreed, Sean. If you haven't watched yet, Jack Moller's last 2 pods are great. I watched the last one. Definitely recommend everyone jump over there and watch it. Absolutely fantastic. Check price. Let me have a quick look. So it was at 43,000. So it's jumped up. Yeah, it's moving. To be real honest with you, the price doesn't do much for me, like up, down, and sideways. I know I bring it up every day, but I just want more Bitcoin today than I had tomorrow. Tomorrow I want more than I had today. That's the way I think about it. And the higher it gets, the more FOMO I get, because I never feel like I have enough, and it doesn't really matter when we get into Bitcoin. I think the more that we understand about it, the more we have, the more that naturally we want to store, because we understand the power of it and we can see where it's heading. But let's just see if this is valid. 43,971. It is moving, ladies and gentlemen. Be interesting to see if we get above 44,000 today. It's here early morning. It's only 6:09. Perfect timing this morning. Number of the universe and Bitcoin's pumping. So maybe we break above 44,200, I believe, is a level of resistance there. So we'll see. But it definitely needs to get over 44,000 for it to get high and hold above there for a little while. It moves when Sean talks. Let's go. G squared down under. G'day, mate. Jacob Miller, thanks very much. Who hasn't bought something with Bitcoin? It's nice to see it pump, but when you're in it for the long term, it's more meh. Yeah, that's my thoughts as well. It's still cool. Like, we do love number go up. And Alex Svetsky, the author or co-author of the Uncommunist Manifesto with Mark Moss, had this saying, I came for the money and then I stayed for the money. And what he means there is he came for number go up. He came there to get fabulously wealthy and learn about it. And he stayed because he learned what money actually is. And Bitcoin is literally the best form of money. And it's not that president that came up before. It's not that Bitcoin, it's pretty easy to spend Bitcoin. Like, even in the description, use it or don't. Like, I don't care. I'm actually prefer you just to stack. But say things like Bit Refill, you can buy gift cards, and this is what I did in the States, is you just move Bitcoin onto the gift card, and it's just a MasterCard. Like, I used it to pay for fuel and things like that. It's pay for cigars. And I did it just to try it, to be on that Bitcoin standard. It's super easy to do. Like, there's no difference. You just send it to the address and then you put it onto Apple Pay on your phone. Like, we just double tap and you got the card there. And it's easy. You can spend Bitcoin anywhere. It's, but as money, because it's so hard, we just want to, at least me, I just want to hold on to it because I've got a low time preference. And that's what fiat's for, I guess. It's exciting times. They are going to continue to rail, put that propaganda, the lies, the misinformation out there. We can't really stop that, but what we can do is share the videos. So if you can, push the like button. That like pushes it out the most. Subscribe to all the YouTube channels out there. Engage with things. Share things with friends and family, because they are going to hear about it when the price 69,000, when the mainstream. Let me just get rid of all those ship coins in the background. I can't stand it in my consciousness. It's, if we're surrounded by lovely things, we have lovely things in our life and we have a lovely life. If we're surrounded by garbage like altcoins and things like that with a whole lot of excess dirty fiat, it brings your vibration, your energy down. That's the way I see it. Yes, a little bit esoteric. It is what it is. It's like you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around. I think it's because everything is energy, and if they're low vibration, if you're really to break it down, like we are just atoms, we're just energy showing up in different ways. They'll bring you down. If you hang around people that are Bitcoiners or whatever, you elevate, you know, like it's so easy to have a conversation with another Bitcoiner because you've got a very solid foundation of seeing the whole world. So what I said earlier is, and that quote is, you can't change Bitcoin right at the start, but Bitcoin changes you. It truly does. The longer you've been here, I guess, the better life becomes. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I will try to do a live stream from New Zealand. Maybe we'll be in the rainforest as well, so maybe there's no reception. Just stay away a little bit, but otherwise, hit the notification bell. We will be back next week and we'll be going hard for the rest of the year. Things are really heating up. Again, shout out to Bitcoin Evangelism and the Bitcoin Way for sponsoring, for everyone being here. And it's crazy. I'm going to miss it. I love showing up every day for you guys, being there, the banter at the end, going through the news. I'll see you next week, eh? Be blessed. Peace.